Right guys, so I got rid of my Ford Cougar. Here I am, beautiful sunny day, about to hop on the train and go to this new car auction that I found, because the stock that they had was epic. Here's some of the cars that they had that I was like drooling over. This C350e, that was quite cool. This V8 Hemi Chrysler, I was like, what? Didn't even know they existed. This Honda Civic Type R was absolutely stunning. And this Mazda MX5. Some of these cars. Anyway, you know what happened? I sat on the train and it only takes about an hour for me to get to this car auction that I've never seen before. And while I was on the train journey, of course I was researching about every single car, thinking I was going to drive it that day. But this time I was determined, more than last time. Anyway, I arrived at this city called Letchworth Gardens something, and I was so happy to see the taxi ranks. Honestly, the amount of these small cities that you come out of the train station and it's like Texas, like deserted. But anyway, yeah, I got there. It took about 10 minutes to get to the car auction. And here's what I think about it. I'm at this new place today. I traveled via train to this car auction to have a look what's it all about, see whether I'm able to snatch an absolute bargain here. It's funny, but the taxi driver who took me here, he didn't even realize that there is an auction in the town that he's been working for quite some time now. So but yeah, this is what the front looks like. Took me about an hour to get here from home. Hopped on a train, hopped on a taxi. Here I am. So let's have a look inside what's happening. It doesn't appear to be like a huge auction, but they do have quite a few cars for sale. Let's have a look. Actually, I can see one of the cars here, in fact. That M2, it's on sale, but I don't know why it's standing here on the road and not inside. Probably not enough space. Honestly guys, look at this car. I mean, don't mind the spoiler because I would never have the car with a spoiler. But yeah, look at this M2, man. If not for the renovation, I'd love to buy it. Anyways, back to reality. So here is the main entrance to this building. It looks like a massive hangar. Loads of cars out there. I was like, yes, my heart started pumping. Here is a snip of all the fees that you may need to pay. Paid my deposit, got my number, and just went around on the stroll. Had a look at some of these classic car stock. I did miss the classic car auction event, but yeah, these cars, they were epic. Really spent quite a bit of time just looking at these. Beautiful. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me what they are. I mean, of course I know what S2000 is, but there's loads and loads of cars out there. But anyway, here's the first car, the 2011 Mazda MX5, and I thought to myself, if the car price is going to be like quite low, I might just end up buying it. It was 134,000 miles on the clock, but I thought to myself, that means that the owner has probably changed anything that already needs changing, and that's a good thing. And also I looked at the tires and like the owner wasn't a cheapskate, so Michelin's on top of that. But yeah, you know, it was pretty much the first car out there, and I didn't want to buy the first car straight away. It sold for about £3,600 provisionally, but it never returned the week after, so yeah, it was definitely gone. And then we had this Nismo 370Z that somehow it's registered as a 350Z. I have no idea why, but have a look at the reg. When you enter the reg, it comes up as 350. Anyway, these were like about 19k, and it sold for 16k at this auction. I mean, look at it. It was beautiful. Again, two-seater. I mean, it's not gonna work for me because I still need to take my kids somewhere, like from A to B. So I don't know, maybe one day in the future, who knows. Anyway, next car in line. This particular car, it's been on this auction, because I've been like having a look at this auction, and it's been on sale a few times. So yeah, I don't know why, but anyway, it didn't sell. It went provisionally for like 8k. Next in line was this C350e. I mean, this is the car that I was determined to buy. So I didn't manage to buy the SL last time, but here I decided to go straight in, and I was like, I'm gonna outbid everyone, just literally gonna buy it. It's beautiful, I like it, modern, all the toys that I need, everything. And you know, it always happens whenever I go to these car auctions. First of all, it starts very weirdly, engine noise, and then second, look at the rear. The suspension completely dropped. I know it can be like a regulator or this and that, but at this point in time, I was not gonna go for it. It's just a big red flag, really. So, and then I was like kind of shortlisted this diesel Cooper, Mini Cooper, but ended up not buying it. But it was sold for like 5,500 quid, so that's quite decent. Anyway, it was going around having a look at the cars, and then happened to find this beautiful old Volvo V70. I love these cars so much. And then was going around, and here's another car that I shortlisted. Not shortlisted, but shortlisted. It's the Jaguar XF. It wasn't the S version, and it did have a few issues with the engine ticking, and I thought, probably not for me. But it sold for 5k, just like 5 to 5.2k, so it's not a bad price. It's quite a decent motor, I suppose, but anyway. And then guess what happened? Same car that I've recently sold in automatic, same age as well, and I was like, no chance. I was like, I had these like Vietnam flashbacks when I saw this car out there. But yeah, anyways, check this professional car parking skills. That's epic, this. Do you know what caught my eye? This Bugatti colored looking thing, this Smart. It was really well spec'd, and to be honest with you, I think it's a perfect car for like first time buyers or someone who lives in like small city. I like these cars, they're so funky. One of my colleagues had one, and yeah, they're actually more spacious than you think of it when you jump in. Anyway, next car on my shortlist was this Audi TT. I realized it's 1.8 liters, which is quite gutless, but then when I came closer, as you can see, it was not really well looked after. There were dings and dongs there, engine was ticking over, and yeah, it's just sad. But yeah, I actually didn't realize that the newer shapes Mark IIs had 1.8 as well. And then here's the big daddy, the Hemi V8 300C Chrysler. It was beautiful, but huge red flag. It was entered by a private seller. So to me, if someone enters these privately, 99% broken car. And unfortunately, yeah, there was issues as soon as the car started. O2 sensors, like engine management lights, this and that. And in the description previously, it did say that there's an issue with an O2 sensor as well. So I read through the forums, and I thought to myself, oh gosh, you know, so many things. And as you can see in the boot, have you seen so many parts and stuff? So this owner was like messing about with this car, with the sensors, engine and whatnot. So such a pity, man, such a pity. If it was like stock standard car without any modifications to the engine or anything like that, I'd probably consider buying, because the guide price was like 1,500 quid and it sold for just under 2k. Anyway, last car here that I have for you is the Mazda 6. This really caught my eye. 66 plate, grade 1, so that means it was like in very good condition. Michelin tires, and it's Sport Nav version with like head-up display, Bose, sat nav, all the bits and bobs, all the toys. Basically, I just kind of like fell in love with this car, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to shortlist this car, definitely. It looks awesome. Yeah, I didn't even realize that these Mazdas like 6 were like I didn't even realize that it had this shape, because Mazda 6 to me was like the previous shape from like 2012 that I really disliked. But again, at this particular auction, you could not open all the doors in the car, so some cars were completely locked, some weren't. And yeah, I just had a quick look around and I thought, yeah, do you know what, I might just bid for this as well, see if I can win it or not. But while I was there as well, I was looking at other cars like this Mini Cooper, which was very highly spec'd with like LEDs and all the like chili packs and whatnot. Again, this particular car sold for 5,600 quid. The Mazda sold for 5,700 quid. I think that's a bargain. And now look at this Ford Limo. That is incredible. That is beautiful. I didn't realize that they existed. You know, when I look at these cars, I think, you know, somewhere in like the 90s, someone sat there like it was like a luxurious car, I think. There was this VXR on sale with like lots of engine management lights and issues with like MOTs and whatnot. And then I spotted this Saab. What a beautiful car, man. I'm so sad that Saab went bankrupt. But not only Saab, do you remember how these Rovers were everywhere on the street? It was incredible at one point. Anyway, here it is, the Honda Civic Type R. I think it's EP3 if I'm not mistaken. Again, when I got there, huge red flag, because it was entered by a private owner. No person like with, you know, no sane person will enter their car like this. You'd put a car like that on Auto Trader or at least eBay to sell it, and someone decided to sell it there. But yeah, the description did indicate that there was issues with like misfires and engine management lights, O2 sensors apparently. Yeah, I think something was really wrong with this car, so this is why the person put the car on sale as an individual. And this is something that I completely avoid. Such a shame. I'd love to buy something like this in the future as a toy car, as a car to use like on track days and stuff. It's like, it's such a beautiful car, and as you can see, you could open the doors. It was amazing. But yeah, I didn't know how much it sold for because I didn't follow it. I needed to run for the other car. Let me know if you like this video, guys, and let me know if you want me to get a different type of context and show you more like prices that the cars were being sold at this auction. Right, till next time, guys, thank you very much for joining and watching this show.